Hi, my name's Daniel Rogge. I'm an engineer here at Tormach. Today we're going to cover mounting and aligning the Tormach Tooling System Automatic Tool Changer. Before we begin, it's important to stress that this is a job for which you're going to need an assistant. This ATC carousel weighs about 50 pounds. It's fairly cumbersome, especially when you're operating over the mill's chip tray. So to avoid injuring yourself or hurting your back, you're really going to want somebody to help you out with this task. Before you begin, it's a good idea to turn the machine off and shut down the control software, the computer, and flip the electrical disconnect switch on the side of the electrical cabinet. So at this point, you'll notice I've moved the machine away from the wall to get a little bit more access to the back of the machine. I've removed the coolant backsplash, removed the left-hand machine arm, and I've also rerouted the coolant hose to under the mill head here. And now it's time to hang the ATC. So I'll start by threading in these hex standoffs into the column. Once you have the standoffs in, you're going to want to snug them down. And I'm going to go ahead and take the square tube mount, washers, and flange nuts. You're just going to want to snug these at this point. Don't tighten them down because we're going to be changing the alignment on this as we get the ATC hung. Now we're going to be attaching the ATC carousel to the square tube mount. This is a good time to call in that helper of yours. So Dan and I here are going to lift this up and position it. Notice how we're resting it on these eccentric mounts, makes it a little easier. M8 socket head cap screw. Flange nut on the back side of the square tube. Go ahead and tilt it forward a little, Dan. A little forward? No, you got it. Keep tilting up. All right. Now that we have the ATC mounted to the mill, I'm going to get it roughly level just using a bubble level. You'll want to do this in both X and Y planes, but realize that it's not a fine adjustment yet, just getting it a rough adjustment. I'm going to go ahead and snug these flange nuts that hold the square tube to the column down. You don't have to worry about being too precise with this, as we'll likely end up doing some fine-tuning later on in the alignment procedure. For now, you just don't want the thing moving around on you. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust the tilt in the X direction here. Pay particular attention to the position of this linear rail with respect to the mill head. It's possible to have this adjusted on some machines such that the head would come down and hit the linear rail. What we really don't want is that situation. Make sure that the head is going to clear that linear rail when it comes down. When I get this puppy roughly level, once again this is just a rough adjustment, I'll go ahead and snug down the fasteners. Just snug, because we'll be doing the fine tuning in a little bit. So the ATC is now hung on the mill and it's roughly level. At this point you would follow the instructions in the manual to connect the ATC's electrical system. We've already done that on this machine, so I'm going to skip ahead and route the air lines. You'll notice the air lines are each lettered, and there's a corresponding letter at the end of the fitting that they go to. Lastly, the line to the power drawbar labeled D should come with a check valve pre-installed. The check valve is going to go up by the power drawbar solenoid. Once you have the air lines plumbed, you're ready to hook up your compressor. It's a good idea to go ahead and manually retract the carousel before you hook the ATC up to the compressor, because this guy can fly back once you apply pressure to the system.